This is the Red All Over reaction show to yesterday's 2-0 win away at Shrewsbury, a big 3-point for the Reds. We're going to react to yesterday's game, and then we're also going to speak about the fans forum where Al was our roving reporter for the day, who was there in the flesh to see what was going on for us. So yeah, we're going to discuss those two things and then also preview Donny as well on Tuesday. Let's get stuck into it. Right, so Al, you were down at Shrewsbury yesterday. A very good finish from John Russell for the first, and Max Waters again has come back from injury, 2-2, and a very clinical finish again at the near post.
Waters on fire. Who'd have thought that? In sunny Costerdale, Shropshire. It was red hot, unbelievable. You wouldn't have thought it was late October. And yes, it changed the side, didn't he? Pines come in. We knew Pines would probably come in for Earl. And then Slanina dropped. And Ben Killip. Impressive Ben Killip. His distribution, 100% better than Slanina's. And he made a great save just after we got the opener in additional time. And it were a calm, consolidated performance. I mean, Shrewsbury were very poor. But first half, I don't think there were many shots on goal. Both keepers didn't have anything to do. And then up pops John Russell. What a week he's had. Nearly scored 2 on Tuesday night. Hit crossbar and one up line. And then came up trumps. He's a different player under Darrell, isn't he? What can you say? He's pushing him more forward. He's getting up into the box more. And yeah, it was a good, solid performance. And second half, come out and got that quick goal. And what I'm just trying to think who put it again to put ball down on wing for Max, so we're outright and then come inside.
It was Corey, wasn't it? It was
Corey O'Keefe. Corey O'Keefe, sorry,
yeah,
Corey.
Sorry,
I got it wrong. And a good finish. And as I said, they didn't bother us. They didn't put us under pressure. It could have been more if we'd have gone for it. And it was good to see, as I said, a good team performance, solid. So I think there were about 800 Barnsley fans there yesterday, out singing Shrewsbury Town with 2 drummers. So what can you say? We don't need drummers. And what we win away, a win. We got a new song going. We win away. It was class that. It was class by our fans.
Good to see that you remembered it well as well, Al. And a couple of changes we didn't really see coming as such. Obviously, a bit of a bold and brave call from Dalclatt to drop Slanina and put Killip in, almost a little bit cold, but it was something that we did say he had made mistakes on the last show, that it probably was time to just to move him from the firing line. We knew Pines were going to come in for the suspension, and then Waters having to start as well for Jurgen, which again, you could probably see it coming in terms of that, but again, a little bit more attacking in terms of it meant we had 2 up top.
Yeah, I thought it was there were good changes. I know a lot of people have been criticising Selena, and to be frank, rightly so. Only got to remember that Darrell Clark and the coaches can see what we can see, and they can see, points being dropped. And it weren't just that. I mean, I thought yesterday that the defence seemed to be a lot more confident in Ben Killip. I don't really get that we've signed, Jackson Smith to be allegedly to be our number 1 keeper, although I'm not sure that's necessarily the case. And he's off to Bradford City, and he's been getting rave reviews, although Donny did him yesterday. So it was good. They seemed to have confidence in him, and exactly as Alan said, he didn't have a great deal to do apart from the one save, and one went a couple of yards wide and he scampered across. But his distribution, it oozed confidence, which was nice to see. It didn't look like anybody were panicking about what he were going to do, including me. So for that, I think Darrell Clarke should be praised. I don't think he was listening to fans. I think he's just made his own mind up with his fellow coaches. So, well done to him to recognise that. And let's hope it continues that in goal we've got some confidence in the goalkeeper, and we'll see over the next few games. So that's looking good. Vimmel got dropped or left out and brought Max in up front, and that was a good idea. He had a good chance relatively early on that he got there in front, and the goalkeeper got wherever it were, he got to it, an hand to it, a foot to it, somewhat to it to stop it going in. And that were a shame. An interesting thing that we scored our first goal after 47 minutes in the first half, and scored our second goal 47 minutes into the second half. So I don't think that's happened very often in the past. So 2 goals in 47 minutes, but we're 15-minute break between them. It's going to be a quiz question for you, Al. So make a note, Al. It'll be a quiz question. So Tom's already clocking it for an end of season quiz competition. Unless it's too early, even though his clock's back. Unless it's too early for Tom to remember what I'm talking about. Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance. I was pleased with them, and I think I might have played a part in it. On the preview show, Tony Carlson made a comment about giving me some advice about referees, because the last one I complained about the referee for Noah's team, rightly so, I hasten to add, and he said maybe I ought to support a different team. So I did. I replied to him and said for yesterday, just yesterday, I'd support Shrewsbury, and it worked. It worked. The referee were outstanding yesterday. He didn't book us when we took Stephen Humphreys out. He didn't book us when we were pulling people about at corners, and when we put Mark Roberts on the floor. He didn't book us when Max Waters might have been offside, might not have been offside, but he gave offside. So it were in our favour then as well. When we were putting industrial tackles in, he didn't book us. Sometimes he didn't get fouled, so he played an absolute blinder for us, referee. So I was right chuffed for it, right chuffed.
I like where you're going there, Andy. Their player should have got booked for taking our player straight down, going out. What it all keep going that wing, and he didn't book him. We got first booking. We said there, Kate and I will get first booking, and their number 16. Our fans were going wild. They were wrestling and tugging Robbo all afternoon. And he went off injured there, 16. But
no, I'm not having that.
Well, at least one penalty.
I'm not having that. Robbo were a disgrace, falling down just because he wrestled him to the floor. He should have stood his ground. We didn't even get booked when we started flailing arms into Barnsley players' faces and causing them to bleed and putting them down with elbow and straight arm and what have you. We didn't get booked for that, so there couldn't have been fouls, Al, because we didn't get booked for them. So the referee played an absolute blinder for us. So I'm going to keep it going. Well done, ref.
That was weird. No, very weird.
It's turned into a shrew.
Yeah, we'll just put that down to clock's going back. That's what we'll put that down to. Tom.
There's such a thing called irony, Josh.
No, I got it. It's just I'm concerned for people.
I'm not saying for you, I'm saying it for Tom.
Sarcasm.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that what you think it is? I just thought I was telling it how it is, calling it out, telling it how it is.
I am excited for the one person in the comments that's like, I thought referee a disgrace against us.
Not having that. Oh, no.
I'm excited to see who that person is. Tom, we sort of look back at sort of the buddy games since the international break as well. Sort of you look at Blackpool win a better performance. Tuesday night, unfortunate in terms of the result, but again, a much improved performance against Charlton. And then yesterday, a professional performance, which I think, especially on past seasons, it's one of those games, especially Shrewsbury in particular. Shrewsbury away, I think we're under Stendhal. We got beat 3-1 there or 3-0. So even when we had like a good side there, we always seem to struggle at Shrewsbury. But nice to see that we are capable of that sort of professional performance, and also kept on top of it in terms of scored late in the first half and didn't just sit back being like, right, okay, let's just feel this way into the second half, set off straight away, ball straight around the corner to Waters is in 2-0, and that's almost game's gone to bed then, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a very professional performance for me. Wasn't the most exciting at times, but there were definite glimpses of real excitement, real potential there. We just controlled the game, to be honest with you. They never really sort of.
Sounded like a Dalek.
Is your mic plugged in properly? Because it keeps coming in and out of being plugged in, like as though you've got your finger on it.
Exterminate.
Keep going,
Sorry.
Tom. Don't be put off, Tom.
It's
I'll
all right
get
though.
rid of mic and then I'll go just regular mic now.
Try to be too professional with it, Annie.
Not better.
It's this fantasy football thing. He's got giddy with it.
He has.
Gone to his head.
It has. It's gone to his head.
Sorry, I thought I'd try and use professional mics, but obviously it's having a nightmare. Yeah, so I thought a very professional performance from us. Like I said, not overly exciting at times, but just very controlled. Like I said, and we seem to pick as moments when to attack and when to defend. We just like I said, controlled the game. I'm loving to see Russell really contributing to team. I've always thought he was a good footballer, but slow. He could always pick a pass out, and he looked really in control of the ball, but he'd often get caught with it playing as a sort of central defensive midfielder, and then we were on back foot. Whereas if he does get caught a bit further higher, a bit further up the pitch, it doesn't matter as much. But he is really sort of starting to take. And I, like Tracy said last week with Waters, I thought beginning of season he looked a lot sharper, picked up his injury, but he's come back and he looks good. He's chasing ball down, but I think we're playing more to his strengths rather than sort of using him as a target man, which we seem to be doing before. We're playing balls through so he can chase onto them, and I think that's more of his game. So it is really nice to see that we're playing to his players' strengths rather than sort of shoehorning players into wrong position and just sort of trying to get something out of them and using what they can do rather than trying to let them do what we want them to do.
100%. It does feel like that. Just on sort of the two finishers, Andy, in terms of John Russell's yesterday, a very astute finish as well. It's a narrow angle for him to hit it from. He's getting sort of pulled down as well as he goes to hit it, but the connection he gets, the power and sort of the accuracy on it is phenomenal, really. And then also Max Waters in terms of the actual clinical nature of it, he almost catches the keeper out by going near post rather than trying to bend it into far corner by going sort of low and driven. I think he's caught the keeper unawares with that one as well.
Well, when I first saw it, because he cut in on from the right onto his left foot, and I thought he'd been quite lucky with it at first glance because he didn't hit it with any particular power. It didn't look like it, but goalkeeper were badly positioned. Upon seeing the replays later, it were a good finish. It were a really good finish. He hit it better than I thought he'd hit it and placed it beautifully. And exactly what you say, a clinical finish, absolutely clinical finish. I don't know. I don't know how he got long legs. I don't know how Johnny Russell got to that because it was a lovely goal. You know, he launched his centre to get it, to get his foot round it and smacked it one, and it was a really, really good finish and I want to say a clinical finish, but also technically a really clever finish. He did really well. I thought he did really, really well to get under it because it's it just shows, Connell put it back in, and he got his foot round it before anybody else. And a bit like he did it, a bit like the chances he had against, as Alan had said, against Charlton, that he was very unlucky with. Well, both, the one that hit the bar and the one that was cleared off the line. I mean, that's what players are on the line for, to do that. But he couldn't do much more than he'd done. And but he did yesterday. So really, really chuffed for
And
him.
a lot of Reds fans missed it. They were on concourse.
What waiting for the pies or something like that,
That's
Al?
it. That's it. And yes, and
Did it?
comfort breaks.
Well, I knew it wouldn't be you. Well, I know you'd see it, because it takes you a bit longer to get to Concourse. So you'd have seen it. You'd have seen it. But yeah, and that's a shame. You pay your money, you go that way, and then miss the flipping goal. But
Could have quite easily missed both as well if you'd
I,
gone early and then come back late.
I know someone who didn't see both goals.
That doesn't surprise me.
oh, laugh about it, Al. Go on, name names, Al.
I
Laugh
can't name
about
names.
them.
No.
No, but you can laugh
They're
at them,
not
can't
okay,
you?
but they still
Laughing
enjoy
at
the day out.
a poor fan who's gone all that way, like you, gone all that way, paid the
Spent all
money,
that money.
and let's chuckle about them missing both goals because they went for a pie. You're a disgrace, Smith. You're a disgrace. You should be commiserating like I am. Really, really sorry that you missed the goals. All for a pie, Al. Oh, wherever. Bovril.
You can
And
see from
some things are more important.
It's true. The perils of scoring late on in first half and early in second, I suppose.
47 minutes.
Twice.
both.
Um, Al, in terms of obviously, we've mentioned a little bit already about Selena coming out, Killip coming in, and not it's the good stop Killip makes at the end of the first half. Obviously, sort of change the dynamic again. If that goes in, we've been pegged back immediately, and then it's a very different game from there on. But in terms of like a unit, it's the first time sort of that defensive element of the team's got a clean sheet. I can't remember how many games it's been, but it feels like it's been a very, very long time.
It's been too long, hasn't it? And it were way set up, isn't it, Darrell Clark? I think which side where he went 3-4-1-2, and it worked. It really worked. I don't think we had to work too hard to get a victory at Shrewsbury. Their gaffer he usually ends up having a decent side, don't he? But to be honest, I feel for Shrewsbury. If I were a Shrewsbury fan, they didn't see much football yesterday and didn't see much in attacking. Yeah, I said start at week 7 points out of 9 will be good. That's the least I think we should have looked for. If we wouldn't have get 2 goals away on Tuesday night, we'd have had 9 out of 9. So after international break, it's a big turnaround in our fortunes, and long may it continue. And we're seeing some sort of continuity in the style of play he wants to do at Barnsley Football Club. So well done, Darrell Clark, because if we wouldn't have got these results this week, the fans would have been on his back again. And I think he's won them over. He came yesterday at the end of the game and he did the 3 cheers and pumping to crowd. That's the first time I've seen Darrell Clark do anything like that and get involved.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, isn't it, with when you go for a bit of a sticky patch, then one win to sort of go and try and gloss over it by doing that. I see what Klopp did that time and celebrate a 1-1 draw with Swansea, whatever he did, in front of that Kop, which bit of a strange one. Tom, that obviously result sees us go up to 7th in the table this season. I think Reading have still got a game in hand. We're in 6th in front of us, but sat on 22 points after 13 games. And 7th, it's very, very tight, sort of almost from Wickham down. So I think we're 4 points off second. So obviously it's 4 points between us and we're in 7th. It's key that we sort of keep this momentum going now because it's not really it wasn't the easiest 3 set of games in which we had a Blackpool at the time were flying and only lost 1 under Steve Bruce. And then Charlton, they're just an awkward and difficult side to play against, and it's almost one of them of a coin flip kind of game. You'd expect that Shrewsbury to be the one where you could see a potential win, but the other 2 were definitely potential banana skins. But I think throughout this week we've done very well in terms of performance of, as Al's mentioned there, 7 points from 9.
Yeah, much improved performances, to be honest with you, and I think that's something to take away more than the 7 points. I mean, the 7 points, yeah, fantastic. But it's the way we've actually gone about getting those points for me. Like you said, like Al said, basically, it could have been 9 because we were in control against Charlton really until silly mistake really from in the first goal when we're down to 10 men, just get rid of it, and then a horrendous mistake for their second. Um, and I think that mistake was the final straw. Slonina needed time out of the team. Basically, if you're going to come call and say that ball's mine, you've got to make it yours. You can't just have a half-hearted punch at it and do that really. But yeah, I think the manner of which we've got the points is better. It's much improved performances. Like I say, I think we've controlled the games that we've played in. Definitely yesterday. Shrewsbury offered very little, and yeah, an all-round professional performance from us for that one. I think we're just starting to take. I think Humphreys as game fit. He looks really, really. He looks a quality signing. Keeler Dunn's getting there as well, making darting runs and causing issues up top. Like I said, Max Waters as well, and you're starting to look at that first 11 looks really, really good. And then obviously you've got Phillips to come back when his injuries when he gets over that, and we've got Earl Pines and Gevney at back and Roberts, and there's a little bit more depth there because people are coming back from injuries, and I think given a bit of time we could start ticking. I'm still not 100% convinced on Clark on his tactics, but the fact that he's not tinkering as much, he's a lot better. We seem to have a bit more of a settled side, and he doesn't seem his substitutions don't seem panicked anymore. It seems to be there seems to be more of an idea of why he's doing them. So I said still not 100% convinced. I can see why Gab said he tactically not the best of managers, but he's good man manager. But hopefully those four coaches, because apparently we've got too many, but apparently those four coaches will help him out.
Yep, that massive coaching staff that we have.
Huge coaching staff that we've got.
I think that is
Full of all ex-players
all heavily experienced as well. Been around the game for years and years, and are not still sort of learning themselves. Andy, one thing I don't want to go on to predictions. Anyone know anyone that got three?
Oh, crikey, yeah.
Anyone know anyone got 3 points or out this week? Don't know. I'm just asking.
Oh God, yeah. I'll sort out the league tables this week because there's a lot to do after this one. We had 47 predictions, and when we'd lost the 2 matches against Huddersfield, it was doom and gloom, and everybody were predicting that we were going to get hammered by Blackpool and all this, that, and other. And prediction-wise, we seem to become a bit more positive because after the 47, 41 said we'd win, 5 said a draw, and 1 said we'd lose.
Oh, who went for that loss?
Cheryl Gray, but she does it tongue in cheek. It's reverse psychology from Cheryl, I think.
Good to see she's taken one for the team there.
Exactly that. So, I know get better soon, Craig. I know Craig's not feeling very well, which is why we got to put up with Tom this morning. Sorry, Tom.
Cheers, Andy. Thanks. I thought I was part of Dream Team. You know what I mean? But obviously not.
With that, that's all I'm interested in. With the longest peak I've ever seen in my life. That's it. No, leave it up.
His shirt says it, Tom. His shirt says it all.
I don't talk about Tom like that, Alan. It's not nice.
Is a wrong one, isn't it? Is a wrong one, Al?
No need to talk about
He's been a wrong one for 65 years.
I don't know who puts up with him.
Be finished? No, I don't. Be finished yet? Yes, so 41
Happy anniversary, Andy.
Oh, dear me. 40.
So we just keep interrupting him every time he starts.
I do. And
5 years with Andy. Good luck,
it
so.
just takes Josh longer to encode it. Right. and all that. And all that. 41 said we'd win out of 47. But 11, which was the most out of those 41 that said, 11 said it would be 2-0, which included Craig, get better soon, Craig. It included Josh, although we're going to skip over that.
Wahey.
Yeah, so that were good. Phil Tyke, he said it were going to be 2-0, as did Dean Pudfat. Nice one, Dean. And then we got Tony Carlson, my mate who told me to start supporting another team. Bless him. Young Isaac, your lad Isaac, he got 2-0. And Wayne Brown, our friend Wayne Brown, he got it. And then, amazingly, now get this, the Moo Shoes. Mike, his partner at Ems, two kids, Leia and Olivia, all four that predict, all went 2-0. But it's gonna text. Mike, I hope you get a big chicken because you're gonna need a big chicken today because you all went 2-0. So that were really impressive from that family because they don't always agree on everything, as families don't. But they agreed on 2-0 and they came up trumps. So well done to all of them. Loads of others got 1 point because, as I said, in total 41 said that we'd win. So that's a lot of input in.
A lot of correct results as well.
Absolutely.
You'd love to
11
see it.
correct results is impressive.
It is.
It's taking over from 2-1. I can't believe it. Taking over. There were only 10 people went 2-1. The world's changing. I don't like it. I don't like the world changing this much.
Don't worry. I think it'll be all back to 2-1 for this Donny game. Maybe I'll take back over. Right. Moving on. So the fans forum took place on Thursday of last week or Wednesday? Wednesday. Yes, it was because we recorded.
You were recording. You should know that. You were recording while I was still there.
You see, I couldn't remember if we'd moved recording back to the Thursday, but we hadn't. Yes, so Wednesday of last week, well, this week it was still currently on, the fans forum took place, and Al, you were there. So sort of start us off in terms of, how did you find it? Did you think you learned anything new kind of thing? Or was it a little bit of a just an exercise, really?
I think we're an exercise, to be honest, a damn squid. John Flatman started it straight away before we start. So he come out and said that it costs 17 million every year to run Barnsley Football Club, 11 million, I think, to run first team with wages, 4 million to keep lights on, and he went on and how much he were taking revenue from Sky, etc., place trading. So at the end of the day, after all that, I think he was saying we're losing about 6, 7, could be 8 million a season just to keep Barnsley Football Club going. So that stopped everybody in the track straight away, knowing where the football club stood, and the ownership are putting money in to keep Barnsley Football Club afloat. So then it went to Nirav. They asked about what the goal was for Barnsley Football Club, and he stated that it's yet to get back into Championship. Said we've been very close in the last 2 seasons, and it won't be coming all this way from, is it India, wherever he lives, to come over if he hasn't got ambitions to get into Premiership. I think that's a long way off, but he stated that fact on about selling his best players, replacing stars from last season. And then it got on about the fan zone and the safe standing. They're looking at that, hopefully, to move forward on that side of it. They're looking at planning permission to get the fan zone, I think, in the south stand car park off Grove Street at the bottom end of that. But all he kept mentioning is this money from Capex, and everybody, what's Capex money? What? And I think it's to link with Barnsley Council as well. Somebody asked the question, why have we got all these coaches goalkeeping coach is not working, and that, and so it was interesting to say the least. But to be honest, I didn't get my question, but it sorted it out. He didn't play him. It come back to me, so I'll come back to you. I'll go round, and I thought, Callum Cooper, I'll come back to you. I'll wait. He never come back to me. I was just going to ask the question with the loanee players. Is it in the contract from the host club that they've got to play X, Y, Z number of games? Which I find it strange that he not dropped Selena for some of his errors previously, but he did yesterday. But that was fetched up, and they said no, there's nothing in contracts. I didn't believe that. I think there's something in their contracts that they've got to play X number of games or minutes.
Yeah, I think that happened when we were in Dodgson last season, didn't it? When we had him on loan and Burnley took him back because we'd sort of not broken the agreement, but sort of went, yeah, we're not using him, so have him back. Which is, I think it's almost like a standard clause now. Whenever host clubs send them out, so to make sure the players just sit on the bench. All interesting stuff though. So Tom, you spoke to Kieran Maguire about the cost of running a club, and when you sort of look at the 8 million pound shortfall in which we do have season on season, you can it almost gives a little bit of context as to why we're operating in the way in which we are doing in terms of, signing players either on frees, getting loans in where we can, and sort of utilising markets where you can get players a little bit cheaper, as per 20 grand Barry Cotter, and trying to it's a case of there's a club bigger than us who are going to then pay money for these players. So say we pay 20 grand for Barry Cotter, sell him next year for 500 grand. You've made your potential, and it helps to sort of bridge that shortfall, which could be somewhat bridged a little bit by promotion, because this promotion worth 7 or 8 million quid anyway in terms of TV revenue. But then within that, you're going to have increased wages. You need to sign better players and stay in that league as well.
Yeah, I think no matter what, you look across the EFL, pretty much every club is losing money. Because like you say, yeah, you gain extra income via match day revenue because you're playing sort of bigger sides in Championship. You've got increased TV revenue, but then wages go up. So instead of paying sort of 2 and 3 grand a week, you're paying 7 or 8 grand a week, and it all soon adds up, and you know better off than what you were sort of in League Two, League One. There's still shortfalls, and I think vast majority of owners are putting money into their clubs. What I will say about our owners is they're not loaning money to the club. They're putting money directly in via shares, which basically means they can't get that money back. It is a gift. So that is good. I mean, if you look at Wrexham, everyone praises their owners, but it's all loans. All the money they put in is loans, and they're charging the club interest, and they're making money back. I mean, if you're as sad as me and as my friend Kieran, you can go on Company's House and look at the accounts, and you can see what money comes in, what money goes out. It's not hidden. As owners every year put that information out there. I think around March time. So it's all visible. It's not like sort of Die Younger at Reading, and there's a few other ones that sort of they don't publish the accounts. They get fined, and you know what I mean. They are fairly open. I mean, I've sort of defended owners quite a bit on what they've done, because they are trying. I'm not saying that they can't do better, especially with sort of fan experiences and buying players. But you've got to look at who we are and where we are. We're a League One club, and we're not the biggest club in League One. I mean, you look at Birmingham spending stupid amounts of money. Um, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous that they can spend sort of 15, 20 million on Alfie May, and that's classed as normal. Um, I'm sure we'd all love us to go out and buy sort of strikers for that amount of money, but it's just never going to happen. Not unless we get promoted to Premier League, and like Al says, that's well off. Um, I think we've been a lot smarter this transfer window. I think Humphrey's on a free, absolutely quality signing. We've made one marquee signing in Humphreys.
Keeler done.
No, sorry, Keeler done, yeah. Thanks. I don't know why I said Humphreys twice. Yeah, we made one marquee signing in Keeler done. Actually spent a bit of money, close to £1 million on him. Um, and then sort of uh, showed up as defence with Robertson again, another free. So I think we're trying to be smarter with his money. But we just it's basically we just can't keep going to bank of mum and dad and borrowing money. We have got to sort of start and bridge that gap. How you do it, I don't particularly know. You've got to increase revenue, but you've got to do it in such a way that you're not treating fans as customers. The fans at the end of the day. Um, I think the fan zone could really increase revenue, especially with away fans. You've got if Birmingham City bring a load of fans, they've got to eat, drink, do be entertained before the game. They could be stood in fan zone. You could have 2,000 people because I mean they're going to fill that away end. You could have quite easily 2,000 people stood in a fan zone spending fiver or a tenner a piece, and that's just missed out revenue. I mean, to be honest with you, even fan zone we've got now, if they just sort of improved it slightly, you utilize the Madrid Super Pump beer things, get a few more of them in, actually get some food stalls in there. They could get the away fans in, even if the home fans are sort of staying in town. But it feels like missed opportunities. As he said, they spent the money on the squad rather than fan experience, and I don't think they need to spend lots of money on the fan experience. They could be smarter in what they're doing, to improve things. But
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that almost goes hand in hand in terms of if we play better, more people come through gates and we're a more successful side, you're getting more people through the gates to increase that revenue, and then you can sort of turn to fan experience. Whereas I think trying to manage both almost neither gets done correctly in terms of we'll not create a side that's great, and then the fan experience is just all right. It's nothing fantastic. Like look at Accrington Stanley and what they've done for the fan zone they've got there as well, which is just a really good setup. But it's almost been like a dedicated effort to go and improve that as well. One thing, Andy, I did want to sort of mention is obviously when Nirov came out, when the ambition is to sort of become a stable mid-table championship side, and you sort of look at the sort of two things within that of you look at the previous two seasons of two sort of almost there campaigns, and then linked to that is when I think one of the comments was saying why do we sell as best players, and we haven't actually sold one of our better players since Mads and Liam Kitchen, which to be fair we got value for him. It's not like that time when Hurrian and Winnell both went for 25 quid each and we got note for it whatsoever, and it decimated that season from being top 16 championship to I think we finished 16th or something, and we've not really done that sort of since then, sort of, especially under this new ownership necessarily. We've not really sold as best players, and if we have got the money for them to replace. Do you believe that their ambition is for mid-table championship? Because we've mentioned there already, and they did at the fan forum, if there is that shortfall and there is a way to go and improve it, which is by getting promoted. And then if you can slowly, incrementally increase wages from that, you can lessen that shortfall just through TV revenue and increase gate receipts and such. But do you believe they are trying to sort of improve us in terms of product of the team?
Truthfully, I do. I think I think like any club, they've made mistakes. Certainly with some of the appointments that they've made to the head coach and what have you. And I hope that they're learning from it. What I found interesting last season is that now we find out that there's a big revenue gap, and yet 4 players that left on freeze this summer, we could have got some money for them, but they'd have been castigated for that if we'd have cashed in on such as Cole and Kane and what have you, and Cadden and Jordan Williams. But they wanted to keep them to give us our best chance to go up. Didn't work out as it happened, and we didn't play great for sometimes, and sometimes we did play all right. Come close to getting to Wembley. We ultimately gave Bolton a run for the money. The year before, Sheffield Wednesday referees and VAR and all that didn't help. I'm not going to say we were robbed, even though we were. So I think they're trying. I do think they're trying. Like I said, I think they've made mistakes. What I think is refreshing, just put it into a little bit of context. The Dye family down there at Reading, our fellow fans at Reading, bless them, they're not publishing the accounts and then getting fined for it. It's for those players, for those fans and players, chucking tennis balls on pitch and what have you. That ownership's a flipping disgrace to that club, and yet, let's be honest about it. Al says it didn't tear out much new. John Flatman came out on Wednesday night and laid it bare. None of this fudging that we've sometimes had it past and a lot of other clubs have. He said he gave the figures. I tend to, I believe what he says. So I think it's all good on him to come out and say this amount of money. You're 17 million, you're 3 million from Sky, you're 11 million, you're 4 million to keep the lights on. All that. I think that's it laid bare. 8 million, and yet we didn't sell our forward. What you would say was we could have got some money for them to lessen that burden on the owners. So in that respect, I think it's not fashionable to praise or say well done or whatever to owners. We might have said it if we'd have gone up, because we didn't. It's not fashionable. So, but I think they're trying to learn, and some of the things that Alan has said about what went off at the fans forum and what I saw on the replay on YouTube, I thought were quite positive from the owners and and from John particularly. So I think that is a transparency and an honesty that I think's quite funny. I'm not. I don't think I particularly agree with Alan that players that are on loan have got to play a certain amount of games. I think if we do that, if any club does that, you get somebody on loan and they've got to play 75, 80, 85% of games, then don't have them. I don't want anybody. We don't need a head coach whose head's on the chopping block to be hampered by stuff like that. And I think yesterday's change round, from particularly from the goalkeeper, is as testament to that. So, I think they're showing a bitter bottle and are coming out, not exactly coming out fighting, but coming out speaking honestly, I think. So, it's as dire. It's pretty dire if they're having to spend that amount of money. But as Tom said, there's other clubs doing it, and there's other clubs doing it slightly differently. The chickens will come home to roost. I'm not sure our chickens will come home to roost. For them to get any money back, they've got to sell it, and there's got to be somebody to buy it. Others could just call in their loans and finish up having to do what some other clubs have had to do, which is just drop like Craig's stone. Hopefully, we're doing it in the right way. I like the idea of share issues, and I know Tom's show a number of months ago with Kieran Maguire, he was praising the way that our owners are running the club financially at any rate. So I personally take a lot of comfort from that. I wouldn't take any comfort if I were such as QPR or Reading or truthfully even Wrexham and Birmingham were spending money hand over fist, and I'm not sure how that's going to play out ultimately. They've got to go up. If they go up, they're not going to get that as much, but they've got to go up a second time to get anywhere near it. So, although it's looking good at certain clubs, it might come down to a complete mess in a year or two's time, as it did with Reading, has done a bit with QPR. So,
a couple of other points what come out at Fans Forum were the fact that we're not getting many Saturday games at Oakwell, 3 o'clock kickoffs due to Sky.
yeah.
And for people buying season tickets, that's having a negative effect if it comes to next season. If that's going to be same because of the Sky moving games and 12:30 and 3 o'clock and putting them on TV, we could lose revenue from season ticket holders who can't make games, and it's pointless putting their £300-400 a season for a season ticket into the club and not getting value for money. So, and Flatman says, well, it's offset that with money they get from Sky. So that to me, if we want fans in, we've got to look after fans. And it's the fans through the turnstile, what are the supporters of the football club, not Sky. And the other issue what came up was, can we get back to red and white, Barnsley Football Club, our history, and our, we don't want all red or all one colour strips. It's red and white. It's our identity. It always has been from 1887, they said. So those were the other two, what came up from fans' questions.
Sheffield Wednesday shirts when we first kicked off,
I
didn't
was
we?
just going to say I wanted blue and white stripes for his first ever kit.
I think
really.
I understand the reasoning that's been given for having an all red kit, but I think and my personal belief would be I'd much prefer it to be white shorts, but I'm not going to lose any sleep or the fact that we have flipping red shorts.
I think as well on the Sky thing, like, what can we do?
The Piper calls the tune, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, because haven't Sky paid more money to get the rights for the extra games? So, like you said, it offsets the fact that, like, say 2,000 people don't renew season tickets next season, we're still actually more or less like reimbursed basically for them not being there.
Going back to the COVID years, weren't it? Sky will be paying all the money, there'll be no fans.
Also, they were questioning, looking at revenue coming in, and because the games are coming into night time, they're losing revenue on beer sales because on a Saturday they'll sell more beer because on a night time, when we change it, people are going to work, so they're not going to spend as much money on a concourse on a night time than they would on a Saturday afternoon.
Might up the Bovril sales though.
There's a bigger profit margin on Bovril than there is beer.
Yeah.
So actually, it's actually
get some Bovril down here, Al. We'll warm you up.
We a bit of pepper. Look, we a bit of pepper in. Look.
Oh, aye. Get your joints going, Al. Get your joints going.
Yes. Right. Get your thoughts on the fans forum down below, because it is quite interesting that sort of the entire thing was prefaced by John Flatman sort of being so open and transparent with the finances, which I think probably did stop a lot of the questions in the track before they even began. It's almost like getting in front of the problem before it starts. So get your thoughts in down below. How you think? Do you think the board was honest? What do you think to the response in which they gave? And I think one of the other things that came out was we've not received sort of a full fee for a player for a very, very long time. So it's all been spread out monthly sort of payments and costs, which, I mean, to me, I understand that's how all transfers more or less done nowadays in terms of players sold and bought. And we'll be doing the exact same thing because I think that happened with Angus MacDonald when we sold him to Hull as well. So yeah, there's quite a few talking points from that. So get yours down in the comments below. Right. So moving forward on to Tuesday then of the fantastic trophy. It's a Bristol Street Motors Trophy. And is it his final game in it?
Yes.
Yeah,
God.
we're out.
Finally. So yeah, we have Donny Rovers as our final game. Are they out as well, or have they got a chance to go through? Do we know?
Do
Yeah.
we care?
Yeah. League table is done is on 4 points, and yeah,
Oh,
they've
flying. They're flying.
I think 5 for Is it Man United under 21s? 4 for Donny, 3 other team in our league now. Huddersfield
Huddersfield.
on 3, and little old Barnsley on. Let me have a think. Zilch.
Exactly. I fell out with this trophy when you can't get half price pizzas. Not bothered about it anymore. Andy, how do you feel about this one? Because again, it's going to be a heavily rotated side when you look at sort of the last 3 games in which we've had, and sort of the competitiveness of them. So I'd be expecting a pretty rotated side in there, if not all under 21 players in there.
I'd put them all in. I give them all a run out. It's an absolute, apart from the fact that we can't qualify for the next round, it's a shambles of a competition anyway. And if we could, I mean, we can't, but if we could, I'd have pulled out of it in its current thing. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but under 21s playing against young, our own young ones. That's not helping the England national side or wherever else that the FA and the EFL were trying to sell. It's not doing any good at all for anybody. And it's all set up. It were all set up for League One and League Two sides to have their own competition, where anybody else, without the million obviously apart from Birmingham, with the other clubs spending millions and millions and getting to Wembley, it gives us and all the others in the bottom 2 divisions the chance to get to Wembley and play in a competition. And we know how that can feel, with Johnson's Paint Trophy. We know our near neighbours Rotherham won it as well. So we all know what it can feel like and a feel-good factor. But this is just an absolute shambles that nobody seems to want to play it. There seems to be little point in playing in it. And frankly, just give some young players, and I mean all of them, young players, some experience of playing in it. Even if we were top of league, I'd say the same, because I think it's an awful competition. I think they've ruined it. That's not Bristol Street Motors. They've just taken over the sponsorship of it. The EFL have gone cap in hand to me, to FA and others, or arts. This is how it feels to me anyway. What can we do to help you out? Your suggestion earlier, Josh, before we started, were the bottom 2 divisions and the National League. Three divisions there. Let them fight it out to get a chance to get to Wembley, and none of this round robin crap. Just play a knockout competition. You can do it home and away if you want, but I won't even bother with that. Just have a knockout competition like a proper competition should be, and generate a bit of interest, because this is just, it's just. I'm not sure I'm going to go. I've got a feeling I'm not even going to go, because I think it's a waste of everybody's time, and it absolutely means nothing for me at all, to me at all. Nothing.
It is weird, Al, from when sort of they tried to reformat it and make it into a group stage rather than the straight knockout, because it's just you've got a minimum then of 3 games to play. And if you're a side that sort of you've got ambitions of promotion, you're not really going to try from the start in it, and you're almost like hoping to get knocked out nice and early in it, so you don't have to bother about it. But you've got at least them 3 games, and then should you qualify for the next round, like it's just becoming more and more games on top of you've already got as a minimum as a League One and League Two club. You've already got what, at least 48 games to play. Should you do the full season, and then also if you got his first round of the EFL Cup and FA Cup as well.
You've got to prioritise, haven't you? End of the day, we had 3 games last week, Tuesday this week, FA Cup Saturday. So you prioritise, don't you? So it's not for me. Not with under 21s in any way. It devalues the competition.
It's patronising now. Patronising.
Devalues
It's patronising. Let under 21s come in. Nah.
Why should the Premiership come down and try and spoil the competition for the smaller clubs in League One and League Two? It's disgraceful for me, but it is what it is. And I think there'll be more Doncaster fans at Oakwell on Tuesday night than Barnsley fans.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't surprise me, to be fair, because it's
Yeah,
just
cup final. Is that what you're saying, Al? I'm not going to patronise Donny fans either.
that's exactly what it is. Tom, how would you approach it if you were Darrell Clark? Would you just basically swap out the entire first 11 that played on Saturday and let Conor McCarthy's, for example, those kind of players who have been in around it get some time?
No, I reckon on Tuesday. Sorry, lads.
What's that, Al?
Josh Benson might come back.
And Fabio, for example, as well, coming back from injury and not really sort of breaking to side as such.
To be honest with you, it'd be an under-21 squad for me. Really would be. I can't see any point in risking sort of first team players or even sort of fringe. But I won't bother with Jallo because he's making bench. Um, I just don't see a point in risking injuries at all in this competition, especially because on Saturday it's FA Cup, and again we're playing a team that's lower down. All right, they're doing really well in sort of League Two, but I think that's where I'd give my opportunities to sort of Jallo and sort of fringe players. This competition is just absolutely it's pointless, and it's even more pointless now because we're out of it. It's just we're going to be playing in front of one man and his dog. So I honestly just don't see a point in it. If you could, I would seriously just forfeit the match, give him 3 points, take a 3-0 loss, and just go away from it because it's just nothing, isn't it? It is absolutely nothing.
I'm laughing at that woman and his dog. Andy and I knew a guy who used to come and stand on mucky on corner with his dog, don't we, Andy? He used to come to
Oh,
Oakwell.
it's look rough. He were barking mad, Al.
Some childish puns there. You know what we said. Right, prediction.
And I tell you something else, we didn't win a lot either.
Predictions,
Sorry,
Andy.
Al.
What you reckoning to it?
I think, God, do you know, I know it counts, but I actually don't care. And that's no disrespect to Doncaster, and actually no disrespect to our players or our under-21s or even under-18s, our academy players. It's no disrespect to any of them. I just think we just all been hung out to dry by pappy people and greedy people that I just think it's a complete shambles. 1-1 after 90 minutes.
I thought you were going to say it'd be like a massive loss or something.
I want to see Slanina play up front.
Like David James came up for City that time.
Yeah.
Al.
Oh, Donny's going to go for it. 4-1, Donny. There, look. I'll go mad.
Fair play. I respect that. Tom?
I'm with Al on this one. I can see it being quite a high scoring game because I think it's just going to be sort of two teams going at each other, and I think it's going to be under 21s. I think I can see mistakes happening. I'm going to go 4-2, Donny.
You're all so negative, wanting to lose and draw. I think, well, I'm going to go 3-1 to Donny.
Oh, we're all supporting the young Lions then of Barnsley, are we?
Paul Mayfield. We're behind you, Paul Mayfield.
So
Donny have got a chance of going through, haven't they?
Yeah.
They'll be up for it.
There's more. They're probably going to chuck a few more first team players in, whereas I don't think we are. Yeah, 3-1. 3-1, Donny. That's what I thought. Get your predictions down in the comments below. What do you think to it? Do you reckon it'll be heavily rotated? Do you think there's any first team players that that Darrell Clark might want to see a little bit more of? I know Conor McCarthy's been playing in most of these games as well, and last time John Russell played in one, he ended up in the first team and has contributed heavily in the last 3 games. So there is still some value to be seen in it. Right, we will be back on Wednesday with our reaction to the Doncaster game and also previewing Port Vale away in the first round of the FA Cup. We'll see you there, you Reds.